we're gonna watch I Did a Thing! Getting a stray cat high to stop them eating my pests. What? Oh my god, this is gonna be a crazy one. This is gonna be a crazy one.
How you going? So, I've got a problem. Chubby cats in my yard. You know?
That's not a problem! That's a gift!
I used to have heaps of native birds, lizards, frogs, possums, and even little monkeys running around in my garden. But now, they've all been eaten and replaced with fat cats. And I tried dealing with this issue before.
The chubbier the cat, the better.
By making a pathetic little squirting robot that I was hoping would spray water at the cats, terrifying them so much that they would run away and tell all their mates to keep clear of my yard. But who would have guessed that after I stupidly placed heaps of tuna cans down in my yard to get the cats positioned where I could squirt them and take photos, that I've kind of created a bigger problem. And now, more cats keep coming back for the all-you-can-eat fish and
oh no!
our buffet combo. And more, and more. In total, I've counted around 15 different cats. And I probably see them now on a daily basis. And to make it worse, they often wake me up at night with their domestic arguments.
Oi, shut up. Thank you.
And I am dreaming of the day when the native animals will once again return to my yard, living in a happy, symbiotic relationship with everything in it. So today, I'm going to try and make that happen.
Oh, the child is so freaking cute!
Alright, so let's quickly make an unbiased pros and cons list of cats to work out how abusive I'm allowed to be to them. And
0 is the only correct answer.
first up, they're kind of hot. You know, they're probably the most bootylicious animal out there. And I'm not being
Ayo?
creepy by saying this. Society is. Think about Halloween and every party. They're always filled with hundreds of cliched girls dressed up as naughty cats. It's like the default costume for any girl wanting to be attractive. Why not dogs or fish? You know, I'm still waiting for Frog Woman. And I don't know why we think they're so hot. Maybe it's not actually the inherent characteristics of cats that turn us on, but because throughout history we have associated cats with women in this strange, mysterious, seductive way.
It's true. Cats and women are very similar.
Like, look at the Egyptians. They fetishized cats so much that they wanted to be tied up in eternity with them. Or maybe it actually is a cat thing, you know, because after hours of scratching the crap out of you, they still need to get a feed out of you. So they seduce you by walking over and wrapping their tail around your legs.
They're seducing you, motherfuckers.
Rubbing them up and down while dancing on you, making you feel dirty like a stripper pole in an outback trucker bar. And then you're slightly turned on, but you realize it's a cat.
Ayo! What the?
Cat. So you quickly feed it and then book a session with your therapist. And I have no idea how to feel about this characteristic, so it's going right in the middle. Alright, next, murder. They're very good at murder. I actually kind of
Cats are fantastic at murder.
respect how good at murder they are. Out of all the pets, cats are probably the best evolved killers in the world. They have knives glued to their hands, do parkour, see in the dark, and have a kill-to-death ratio of 1 billion to 1. It's estimated every year cats kill 2 billion native animals in Australia, while also
Oh my god.
spreading deadly parasites. This parasite infects the brain of animals, even humans, and slows them down, making them calmer around cats. And the government has tried lots to stop their killing rampage, like making murder illegal in Australia, setting up cat barriers, and paying people to hunt them, but nothing.
Isn't the house cat technically Isn't the house cat technically an invasive species in Australia?
Seems to stop them murdering small birds, mammals, and reptiles. Except for one thing, being very large, which works for big animals in Australia.
It's actually crazy because the domestic house cats are such an invasive species. Like, apparently they've killed so many birds in Brazil because they're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be there, and they are like primo dominating murder machines. They'll obliviate everything. That it's so bad. So if you're gonna get a cat, a domestic cat in another country where there isn't domestic cats supposed to be, keep it in home. Don't let the cat go outside. Keep it in your house, mother.
Australia, like this emu here and here. So their murdering abilities are going to be a con, as I don't really want Australia to be filled with giant birds, as they kind of freak me out a little bit. But maybe you're into Big Bird, and you may feel different. Okay, next point. They own you. You know, with normal pets, like a fish,
Don't let your... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep your cat inside. Don't let them go outside. They'll kill birds, and we need birds. Also, I don't have to swear anymore. Yay. So I only have to censor the first 10 minutes of the video.
turtle, or dog, you get them, and it's very clear to the pet and to you that you're the boss. You know, you feed them, provide shelter and love in return for a small amount of daily animal affection, which keeps you going in your depressing life. But with cats, that's not really the case. They are hunters, straddling the line between domestic and wild. One minute they're entertaining you playing with a stupid toy, and the next they're roaming the night, committing genocide. You really can't tell them what to do.
They are 100% committing bird genocide.
In a study about emotional attachment between owner and pet, scientists drew lines on the ground and tested the response that pets had to being left without their owners. The lines showed that cats don't really feel much emotional attachment and don't really care about their owner, which makes me wonder why people really like them as
That's so sad. They don't care about us at all, guys. They don't like us.
pets at all. Like, you know, there are other options, like ants. They're cheap, plentiful, fit in your pocket, and can actually be very emotionally supportive.
Nice. Thank you.
Alright, I'm out of jokes, so let's just go catch these fat cats. When I tried this before in my last video, I got a lot of comments calling me a monster.
Oh, I know it's not. It's 100% debunked. It's a total joke that cats don't care about you. I had very emotionally attached cats.
For scaring cats. And I do understand caring for cats. I feel bad for them as well, as after all, it's not their fault. They're just doing what they were born to do, murder everything. And we're actually the ones who are the dicks, because we introduced them to the environment in the first place.
Facts, 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 facts.
But I still feel scaring them is justified, as slightly spooking them could stop them from coming into my yard, potentially saving lives. And if it's a choice between slightly scaring a cat or letting cute animals get ripped apart,
Oh, these birds. I can't believe Australia has these beautiful birds just like loitering around.
the only logical choice is to spook some cats. And if you think otherwise,
That is so true, Mastercore. That is 100% true. That is a really strong misconception. Like, you know who doesn't have empathy? Narcissists.
your brain is definitely being controlled by one of these boys. Now, before I resort to fully spooking them, I'm going to try some less traumatic deterrents to see if they do anything. And some of you suggested all I need to do is board up the holes in my fence. But
I mean, that makes sense. No holes? Then they can't go through the holes. They jump, Cammy, but how high do they jump really? Like, how high can a cat jump?
I've tried this and covered them all up, except the ones I use regularly.
Ayo?
Like I said before, the cats know parkour. And while watching and chasing the cats in my yard, I've actually seen them jump this 6-foot fence in a single bound. It's
6-foot fence. These cats are unstoppable. I'm sorry I did a thing. You cannot stop them. They're part of your garden now. They are killing your birds. Just accept it. Accept that they are the dominating species. We humans are not the alpha. The cats are.
It's crazy. I am so jealous of their skills. So fixing the gaps alone won't help, as when I close that one up, they just find another way into my yard. And then they usually bring backup as well. And at least when this gap is open, I know the exact point at which they will enter my yard, allowing me to set up some traps. Okay, my first trap is going to be some cucumbers. And I'm sure you've all seen these videos where cats
are scared of cucumber videos. Yeah, I love those.
freak out about cucumbers in hilarious ways. And some people reckon it's because they are snake-shaped, scaring the cats and stressing them out. And after testing it first on humans, I reckon this could work. So I put 3 down under the gate in front of Rattus Rattus's house and left them there.
this rat is this house. Aww.
overnight to scare some cats. And first up is this chubby black boy, who seems slightly hesitant, but still manages to squeeze his tummy under the gate and crosses the cucumber front line before the camera cut out. And then this patchy
He didn't care. It's lies.
girl who doesn't think twice about them and walks right on over. And to no one's surprise, cucumbers don't seem to do anything. I also decided to try putting them in the shape of a snake, but no, that didn't work either. Now, I'm starting to realize this probably only works on dumb cats that have never actually seen snakes, not on Aussie cats.
That's true. Outside cats that see the craziest shit. They've seen things, guys. These house cats have not seen that same stuff. Outside cats have been traumatized.
They don't care at all. And actually, I don't even know why I've been mucking around with the vegetable version. I should just try the real thing. And I picked this guy out as I thought it looked pretty similar to this thick boy, the native death adder. And I think it's got a better chance of working if they can't see the snake at first and kind of get surprised by it. So I'll leave it behind this wall.
Good idea.
And nothing. Maybe it's too dark and rainy, but the chubby cat did seem to look at it and did not care. And it's probably because the cats in my yard are too chilled out. You know, they need to be on edge and super anxious. So I thought, what makes me paranoid?
Phone calls. Phone calls make us paranoid. Nobody wants to pick up. There's a rando on the other end. Oh no, never mind. I went in a totally different direction. I'm sorry. As a social awkward little baby, it meant drugs. It was drugs.
So catnip is either going to make them really calm or really aggressive. Either one is funny. And while researching catnip, I found that apparently even big cats, like lions, can't resist it. So I got a little sidetracked for a moment and reached out to my local zoo to ask if I could get their big cats high. And they're yet to get back to me, but they haven't said no. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, you'll all see a news article titled "YouTuber Mauled to Death by Stoned Lions." But in the meantime, I managed to find a friend that was happy to let me drug their cat for YouTube views and to see what catnip does. Thanks, Maddie.
Have you ever seen a cat with catnip? It's crazy. They get real weird.
Catnip belongs to the mint family, and when inhaled by cats, acts as a sedative. Once calm, cats usually roll and flip around with it in a playful manner. However, in some cats, it has a similar effect to LSD, producing hallucinations, and can cause some cats to become quite paranoid, especially when mixed, which is why you never mix your catnip, kids.
Never mix your catnip. Always got clean catnip, guys.
And these paranoid properties, as well as the fact that it is an appetite suppressant, are exactly what I'm looking for. As hopefully, the cats in my yard will be tripping out so hard and unhungry that they'll have no chance of catching my animals. And ignoring all the stuff I said earlier about cats as pets, this guy was actually very cute and a lot of fun to play with.
He's so cute.
Milosh.
Milosh.
His name's Milosh.
Milosh.
So let's see if the cats in my yard have a similar reaction. So I just set up a little bowl in their walking path and left it overnight. And first to come was this little chubby funster who doesn't seem to care and passes by twice more without having a whiff. And then the same for this patchy girl.
They just don't care, guys.
And they don't really care. And that might be because my suburb has pretty high recreational use of catnip.
Oh, see, they're already on drugs, guys. They're already on drugs.
So the cats in my yard have built up a tolerance and are used to much higher quality, stronger stuff. But it might also be because they can't properly smell it.
I think his tail is tucked because he's nervous. I don't think he has no tail. I think it's just like underneath him.
So I built this cat tunnel, which will
But there is a possibility that it could be that it got hurt somewhere in the wilderness.
force whatever crawls through it to hopefully get real close to the catnip, getting a nice big whiff. And the first cat to come along is this pure white girl who probably recognizes the old catnip tunnel trap and refuses to enter.
Oh, see, there we go. That's how you keep them out of your yard. You do a trap.
The same with this scared, old-looking guy who just runs away. And then this patchy girl who almost gets the courage to come inside the wonderful catnip tunnel, but then backs out. But then this big chubby fella comes along and, judging by his size, is not the best at self-control and passes straight through the tunnel, getting a good whiff of the catnip. And it must have taken a bit for the catnip to hit him as he comes back a bit later to get another whiff. And then he really gets into it, plonking his fat butt right in front of the camera. He
does have no tail. You're right. He has no tail. I wonder what happened to his tail.
Rolls around in it, covering his whole body and face in it. And this is probably the first time he's ever had a hit of catnip, as he is absolutely loving it. Like, look at those pupils.
Australia is a crazy place. I wonder if, like, a kangaroo ripped it off them.
That is one high kitty, who will hopefully be too spaced out to touch any of my animals. But he seems to be the only one that really enjoys it. So I'm going to have to come up with something else to stop the other cats. And I thought, what do they hate the most?
Loud sounds and movement, right?
Dogs. So
Oh, dogs.
I bought this dog pee stuff, which is meant to help you toilet train dogs. So you put it anywhere you want.
He covered his backyard with dog pee. What?
Them to pee. And I just put a thick line of the stuff
I love how he pissed on that politician. Fan-fucking-tastic.
under the gate. And first to show up was this old guy, who I've noticed is very skittish and quite cautious. And he gave it a good sniff before deciding he didn't want anything to do with dog piss. But it didn't stop these other guys, who apparently love dog piss, and came under the gate rubbing themselves all over it, including this fat guy and my brother. And that didn't work, so let's move on to a commercial product, which looks a little like a landmine, but unfortunately is not. It's kind of a motion sensing disco light for cats, so I'm just hoping my cats don't like disco. And first up is the shy old guy from before, who I reckon must have served in
Oh, wait. Dark Souls 1? Ooh, I love Dark Souls 1 and I love Persona 5.
As he seems quite suspicious of the landmine and knows what's up. But he still can't resist and gets too close, setting it off, freaking out, and runs to never be seen again that night. Then this patchy girl walks right in front of it with no hesitation and gets scared off. But then comes back only 4 minutes later and pulls off some sweet Catwoman moves and figures out that she can just walk around the sensor in the bushes, dodging
She's too smart. This is too smart of a cat.
the laser. Clever girl. And this just shows
Apparently, Lombax, the deal is supposed to stay.
that being scared once doesn't really bother them, and they will just find another way to get into my yard.
Cats are
so
smart.
I thought I would give it one last shot by putting all the obstacles in my yard together, creating this beautiful catwalk obstacle tunnel. It's amazing.
Ooh.
So the plan is that they will enter here, getting a good whiff of the catnip, hopefully spacing them out. Then they head down past the dog piss, which puts them on edge. Then they get to the snake, which is
Oh my god, look at this.
hidden behind this block, hopefully scaring them. And then if they make it to the end, the disco ball goes off and they have a party. And first to arrive is this pair of demonic eyes, which belong to a chubby body. And he's a bit hesitant at first, but walks straight through the tunnel, ignoring everything before the camera stops working. Then the old guy comes along and doesn't want anything
Basically, Fitz, he's making a cat haunted house.
to do with the tunnel. So then the patchy girl comes through and rather cautiously walks through the tunnel, ignoring the catnip and snake, before setting off the disco ball and sprinting into my yard. And then the chubby guy comes back again and must have remembered about the alarm going off as he walks to the end of the tunnel and plops himself down just in front of the sensor of the disco alarm, sitting there and just watching before the camera stops working again. And then lastly, this white girl enters the tunnel, ignoring the catnip and dog piss before eating the fish while completely ignoring the snake. And then
Why is there fish there?
the camera fails once again. So even with all the obstacles placed together, which did kind of scare the cats, they just keep coming back. If not
Cats are so stubborn and I love it.
through this gate, through another. And if I board that up, they just come in another way. I would literally have to put a dome over my whole yard to keep them out, which means I'm going to have to do the thing I've been regretting the
I don't know why. He's hoping that if he puts food in front of the snake, that they get scared of the snake and they run away. I don't know.
most, and have some kind of social interaction with my neighbors that own the cats and awkwardly ask them if they can keep their cats locked up and to stop killing my animals.
He's learning how to be social.
How are you going? Hey, how you going? Good, it's good. How's he going?
Yeah, no, he's going good. What can I do for you?
Just want to check how you going.
Yeah, I'm going good. How you going? Good.
How you going, Chad? How you going?
Hi, actually, it's good you came by. Actually, you dropped off your mail by mistake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually, the time here, I've got your mail as well, which is...
It's a receipt!
There you are.
This is just a receipt with an ant on it.
Yep.
And after looking at the footage again, I've realized a lot of the cats don't seem to have collars. So I think my only option is
They're stray abandoned cats. That's what's sad about this.
to use this trap that I purchased to catch and relocate them. So I put this out with some tuna inside it and came back to check it the next morning.
Okay, something has happened here.
No cat.
This is terrifying. Whatever I caught broke out of the cage. Like, what kind of roided up cats do I have in my yard that are capable of bending metal? And after watching the footage, you can see that this white girl seems pretty hesitant to enter the cage, and rightly so, after what I've been doing in my yard for the past week. But then she enters the trap and starts eating the tuna. And the camera doesn't capture the moment the trap closes, only the moments after, and this very, very angry cat.
Oh, this is so scary for her.
And I'm actually very impressed by these cats. Not only can they dodge laser sensors like Catwoman, but they can also read the Chinese instruction manual for this cage, allowing them to break out from the inside. And I'm almost relieved that it escaped. Like, what would it have done to me if it broke out of the cage while I was picking it up in the morning? And I realized I'm a bit dumb. What I should have done,
Look at the poor kitty. It's so scary. How would you feel if you suddenly got locked in a cage?
instead of using just tuna, is I should have put catnip in the cage. That way, it would have been super chilled out and just accepted
It wouldn't have freaked out with all that catnip in there.
its circumstances. Like,
You know, there's like no point spending your whole life breaking out cages again and again. I mean, my house is a cage, my car's a cage, the whole society's a cage, bro. It's all the same. You just gotta chill out.
yeah, hopefully that happens. So I'm going to reinforce the cage with some of these L brackets that should hopefully stop the cage from bending upwards and releasing the gate. And then use catnip with fish as bait.
Oh my god, that's a lot of catnip. That is a whole lot of catnip.
So I left it out overnight in a different location, and in the morning, the cage was broken once again.
Literally again.
Look at that strength.
Oh, is this the other side now? Come on. I need to buy a new cage. So it's actually bent it.
But this time, the other side. And unfortunately, this cheap game cam didn't work and capture anything. And I could reinforce this side and try again, but I've decided to throw in the towel. As firstly, I'm wasting all my family's tuna, and it also looks pretty traumatic for the cats.
It's so dramatic for the cats.
And I can imagine that they probably injured themselves trying to escape the metal cage. And also, I can't imagine this being effective in the long term either, as I would have to capture all the cats in my yard. And even if I did manage to do that, more would just come along and fill their place.
That's true. At least the cat got some food.
So I'm just hopeful that these experiments were stressful enough that they are going to stay clear for at least a while. and it's probably just a coincidence, but for the first time in a year, a magpie has returned to my yard. And
A magpie!
judging by how friendly and unscared it is, I'm pretty sure it's one of the babies that I trained before in an earlier video, and now it's back with a brand new shiny coat. I also had a beautiful kookaburra
Magpies are corvids, like Sapling.
and
The
Currawong
army
take a
is
dip
arriving and they are in perfect condition to fight.
in my pool, but since the cats are still around, this probably isn't a good thing, as they do look very delicious. And I kind of have no idea what I'm meant to do now. If you have any suggestions, I would love that. Like, how am I actually meant to stop these cats? Like
I love magpie, crows, and ravens. I love corvids.
the Australian government has proposed a plan to drop millions of poisoned sausages into the bush to kill the cats.
That's horrible.
But cats aren't the only ones that enjoy a good sausage sizzle, and that might just result in the extinction of every man over 40. Or maybe I could follow the government's classic cane toad, cane beetle solution. Actually, yeah, that could work. So make sure to tune in next week when I introduce wolves to my yard to deal with my cat problem. But for now, you win, cats. You sexy, sexy cats. Thank you.
That was a great video. That was so chaotic and unhinged, but